It's James Calderbank, and today on the Be More podcast, we're going to be discussing look.
And I'm Gemma Ray. Hi, I'm here again. Just gagging
Sorry, I forgot you were there.
How are we starting off with look then? What do you mean, look?
So look, well, I think look in business, there's different elements to look, and look in life, depending on how you want to look at life. Mm-hmm. But I believe in look as self-created.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. It's all about decision making, like someone that works harder and, thinks of more ideas, give things more of a shot and never gives up is going to get more lucky than someone that just complains they're never lucky.
And doesn't do anything to do.
Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought that not taking action and never do anything makes you unlucky?
Also, it's like those quotes you see on social media, They say you're really lucky, but what they don't see is the 5 a.m. starts, the 2 years of slog, the financial risk.
You've got to sit there and meditate and manifest.
Yeah, but I do think you can manifest stuff. Have I ever told you about manifesting?
If I think hard enough, just sit there and think about a Ferrari. Is a Ferrari going to appear when I open my eyes?
No, well, have I ever told you about manifesting my Jason Vale Juicy Oasis retreat?
Go on.
So this is going back like 10 years ago, when juicing was
I
a
don't
thing.
even know who this guy is, sorry.
Right, well, I'll tell you now. I'm sure actually your missus knows who Jason Vale's Juice Retreat is because her podcast co-host Camilla has been to this place. So basically, Jason Vale was like the UK's juice master. That was his name. So 10 years ago, when all of us silly people would do 3 and 5 day juice cleanses, you don't remember, there used to be juice bars everywhere.
Yeah,
so that was the fad at the time. Well, he has what's called a Juicy Oasis retreat in Portugal, where all you have is juice for a week. No, but for me, I'd bought myself a juicer. I loved it. I felt like Earth Mother, angel woman, I'm connected to spirit and nature because I drink juice and I think I'm amazing. And so he ran this competition. I wanted to go, right? So I got this brochure and it was an absolute fortune to go. And this was before I did any kind of self-development, any spiritual stuff. Before I'd even really started to understand what meditation was, my husband would come downstairs in the morning and I would be sat cross-legged on the floor, imagining myself at the Juicy Oasis. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just there in Portugal, the sun's on my face, I can see the lake, I've got my green juice. And I would see all these different things, including these like white pebbles up this one place. And then there was these like tent things. Anyway, a few months later, he runs a competition to win a week at the Juicy Oasis, and all you had to do was send a video in. So I used my toddler child at the time, got him to drink a green juice, and in his very thick Scouse accent says, "It's tasty and I love it." And he licked his lips, and I submitted that as my competition entry. But what I then did, I got my diary out and I thought, right, the only time I can go is the week of the 5th of October. So I crossed it out and I said to everybody, I'm not available that week. I'm going to the Juicy Oasis. And I carried on my meditation and I imagined I was there. And a few weeks later, I got a phone call to say, hello, is that Gemma? It's like, yeah. It's John from the Juicy Oasis. I went, don't tell me, John, have I won? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, and when can I go? He says, well, this is the thing. We've only got 1 week available. I went, is it the 5th of October? And he was like, yeah. How did you know? I was like, because I've manifested it. And when I actually got there, I swear to God, there were none, because I looked back on these brochures, there were parts of this Juicy Oasis that I could never have seen before. It wasn't in the brochures. It was like before Instagram was massive. So there was no pictures and videos of it. But there were parts of it that I had seen when I was sat there meditating.
Yeah, but you're a psych.
But that's what I mean. I think, look, sometimes you can manifest.
But let's wind back a little bit.
Right.
So the video you sent in of Blake.
Yeah.
Right. Why did you have to send a video in of what was the video they had to send? You
had to say why you deserve to win. And my argument was that I was doing this for myself, but also making changes in my family. And they're like, oh, look, here's my 3-year-old child enjoying a green juice. So that was his.
And he was very articulate.
Yeah, and it was funny.
Okay, so what about the fact that you've brought him up to be an amazing kid, entertaining, and very out there that'll make people laugh. So everything you've done leading up to that, maybe that's why they chose you to do it.
But how did I know what week would be available in that 6 month?
Because you are a psych.
All right.
Did you do see into the future? But that's not luck. That's superpowers.
Okay.
That's
What's
superhero.
luck then?
That's superhero level. So luck is 1 moment.
Oh, here's one I prepared
I was in the shop getting my liquid crack before.
To explain, that's Dr. Pepper Cherry, not actual.
And it's not actually liquid crack. So I got these two scratch cards called Black Pearl Deluxe.
So
I've never got ADHD, but I have not got a gambling addiction.
Well, my husband thinks I've got a gambling addiction because you keep doing these at work and he finds them on my desk. He's like, have you been doing scratch cards again?
I just told everyone I've got a gambling addiction instead of doing it at work. I just have these like things sometimes when I go, how cool would it be for my staff member to win it? Or
So are you telling me that you're feeling lucky? Is that why you
no,
got
I
them?
think I knew I was going to talk about luck, and I thought, well, this kind of is luck. However, I had the thought to go, well, I don't normally get these, so we should use it as a, I don't know, what would you call it?
Content. Use it as content. Right,
Or an
okay,
asset.
so what do we do? 2 million, top prizes of £2 million, new bigger ticket.
This is the Black Pearl Deluxe.
Winning symbols. What do we
Yeah.
do? Match any
It is
of
called Black
the
Pearl.
winning symbols to any of your symbols to win a prize.
Right.
Find a... Right, I'm sorry. I've
So
got
but we've got one thing we've got to discuss here.
Go on.
Does everyone buy scratch cards for everyone for Christmas, don't
Yeah,
they?
that's the only time I ever get them.
So we say that if we win it, we'll split it.
Yeah.
So this is, if you win a mil, or I
Yeah.
win a mil, or 2 mil, or whatever it is, this is going to be a test of our friendship to see if we actually split it.
Oh, I always would. I'd be one of those. Always.
Right. I'll split mine with yours as well.
I used to go to bingo and split a 10 of winnings.
Right.
Honestly.
So winning symbols.
Oh, I have to lean forward.
So I've got a
hang on.
crown. You have to pull it. I've got a stack, a vault, rings, and a lobster. I hope it's a lobster that wins.
I've got terrible eyesight, so I've got multifocal contact lenses in and I can't read these. You might have to read them. Oh my goodness. I've got amethyst, lobster, watch, a necklace, and a starfish.
Oh my God, I thought I'd fucking won £1 million then, and I've not. Oh my. I don't know how I thought a starfish was a lobster then, for some reason, but it's not $1 million yet.
They're so messy, aren't they?
It's bad for the environment.
Oh, I feel like this is taking
I know.
forever.
They should just give you a ticket. You buy it there and then, and it just spits it out, like, if you've won or not.
Yes or no?
Or you get robbed for it.
Right, what's the...
Shit, I'm rubbing the actual shit off the thing. Oh my God, I've actually rubbed the symbols off.
Oh my God, I've actually won.
No,
I've
we've
actually-
rubbed the symbols off.
I don't know
right.
if I've won because I've rubbed the symbols off.
Okay,
It's
amethyst.
a good job it's got a barcode in the back. Right,
No.
crown.
No. Lobster. Got no lobsters.
Stack.
Watch. Necklace. I don't think I've won anything. No, nothing on that bit. Right, what do
Right,
we do on the
lobster.
bottom bit then?
But what are them there? I don't know what that is. Right, I've got two that I've actually scratched off.
You've actually scratched them off, you absolute idiot.
I didn't realise I was doing it. I'm so heavy-handed.
I don't know. Like, you proper fucked it.
No, you
Like
you can enter the code online and it'll tell you for one anyway. To be
Right, I
fair.
don't think you have. I think one is a squid, and you've definitely not got a squid. And the other one looks like some kind of box, and I can't see that
A chest.
matching. No, it's not a chest. Looks
Let's have a
like
look.
box.
She's like, yeah, I'll put the rubbish in the bin for you later. £2 million. Yeah, you're not one.
You're
Don't
gonna
worry,
have
I'll
to
bin
check
it for you.
online. You're gonna have to check it online. Right, so then the bottom one. What do we do on the bottom one? Game 2. In a row, match 3 identical symbols to win a prize. Match 3 double icons to win double the prize, or 3 triple icons to win triple the prize. So you need to rub them off a bit more gentle.
So it's 3 in a row, yeah?
3 in a row.
Right.
This was so much more fun as a child. This is...
And I've won nothing.
Is
Have
it
you?
3 in a row? Game matched in a row, match 3 identical symbols to win a prize. I'm just full of this like silver dandruff now.
Find a eye thing. Find your third eye.
And
No,
you
it's not, it's
starfish.
an eye.
Right, well,
But everyone fuck all on that, so yeah.
so your luck theory
So
is
that
bollocks.
was luck. No,
that
no.
was luck. No luck.
My luck theory is not bollocks because I didn't win.
You've just wasted £10.
Hey?
You've wasted 10
I've not
quid.
wasted £10. I've invested £10 to show people that, you know, luck is just luck.
Match 3
You've
double.
got to create money yourself. You can't just scratch your way to oblivion. And because if someone won, right, £1 million, £2 million on that didn't know how to deal or manage money, they would spend it all within 12 months as well.
But that's what you find, don't you? You know, there's some people, what was that guy called who won loads and loads of money? He had big gold chains. What's his name? He's Googling it now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and he got all the banger cars and spent all he won millions of euro, millions,
did.
and then he bought a field and just bought a load of
I think
banger
his name
cars.
was Michael
Spent it all
something.
on like banger cars.
And I think there was a female called Callie, someone. I'm sure there was. And they did. They went on to go and...
So that is, in my opinion,
Here we
Look.
go. Is it
That's him.
Michael? Yeah, I said his name was
Michael.
Michael. Michael Carroll won $12.3 million, so 9.7 million British pounds. There's a picture of him on the screen, and he's got what must be about 5 kilos worth of gold chains, rings, bracelets. I mean, look at him. He is a player. He is living the lottery life.
and then how quick did he spend it all? Keep going. Just put how quick did Michael Carroll spend all his money?
Well, it said then by 2010 he was so hard up. So lottery winner. He was 19 when he won.
Michael Carroll squandered 9.7 million in 8 years. All right, it wasn't maybe not 12 months, but so this is the thing, right? That is pure luck.
Yeah, to win.
You could
in the
argue
first
that
place.
look, he bought the same numbers every day of his life,
Mm-hmm.
but what were the billions of chances of him actually still winning? That's luck,
Yeah.
right? Luck is that we were born onto the earth.
Well, isn't it like something trillion to 1, 4 trillion to 1 or something probability?
It's
that we
basically
even be
nearly
here?
impossible to be a human being
Yeah.
in the vast realm of the universe. I was like, it's going to turn into a Brian Cox thing now. This isn't it? I'd love to interview Brian Cox. How cool would that be? And yeah, that's pure luck. So when we're talking about luck today, I genuinely believe that you create your own luck. The harder I've ever worked,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about the manifestation, things like that. Well, if you get in your car or I don't know, you go on a plane abroad, you go on, what's the, what do they call it? Skynet then?
Skyscanner.
Hope Skynet doesn't come alive. We've actually called the internet home Skynet, like Terminator. So if you go into Skyscanner and say, I'm going to Spain and book Spain, you're going to end up in Spain. If you think about going to France, you're probably going to book France, right? So where your intention's going, that's what you're going to kind of do.
Isn't that manifesting though?
Well, it's just focus on what you want.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not magic. I think if you sit and actively think about something that you want to achieve and the power of visualization to see what you want to achieve, you're more likely.
Because you know where you need to go to get
do it.
there. But what I'm saying is, I think there's a lot of misconception. You shut your eyes and manifest everything to you, and then you've done no action to manifest.
Well, it's like The Secret. You heard of The
Yeah,
Secret
that's-
by Rhonda Byrne.
the
Her
focus,
famous phrase is ask, believe, receive. Now, I think that's massively flawed. You can't just ask, believe, and receive it. I think you've got to ask for it, believe it, work your damn arse off, and then receive it. I think that there's a third stage that's very much missing.
Yeah. Well, I had one of my friends, right, Amy. She was telling me a story about, it's all right for James. I got lucky, didn't he? And then she was like, actually, look, he's done this and like Amy's very strong in her beliefs, right? And she thought, my God, that's what good friends do. That's how you know your friends are.
Yeah,
They'll
if
say
they fight
shit
your
to your
corner.
face and take the piss out of you, but they'll fight your corner when you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be horrible to you, but not behind your back. What a good friend. So, and then, like, there's not an element of luck. Someone, they just see the picture, they might see the nice car or, get a nice house and having a freedom lifestyle, which I have self-created for myself. I'm still nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm really happy where I am. But not complacent. And if you call luck, if you call luck working 12, 14 hours a day every day for the past 7 years, and not every single day, but most days, you do have to have some rest. Although maybe it is luck, but I think you need to define what you see as luck, is what I'm saying. So the biggest thing that I see people and business owners holding themselves back from is believing they're owed something. I genuinely have not owed a thing from anyone.
How does that show up for people when they say, like they feel like they're owed something? In what way? How do you see that manifest?
It's just they believe it's all right for them.
They've done this. It's all right for them. They've done, yeah.
Well, he got a good business. That's how he's got money. I was like, well, yeah, but I work for it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's their fault either. I think it's just I've been very lucky to be around. Oh, is it luck?
Yeah, that's what I'm just about to pull you on that.
I'm very fortunate that I have chosen to surround myself with the right people.
Okay.
That have pushed me to be better.
One thing that you do as well, though, is you invest in being mentored, and you've done this through every stage of your journey. Yeah,
I've spent 600,000, over $500,000 on mentoring in the past 10 years.
And someone might say at this point, isn't he lucky he spent £500,000 on mentoring? But actually it's been a gradual stage by stage process.
When I was a PT.
Go on.
When I was a PT, I probably, once was established, I was probably, in the earlier days, I was probably taking home after tax 2.5 a month at one point. And, for a guy in his early 20s from Preston, that was amazing at the time. Mm-hmm. So half of it went onto a car. And then, so I had to up level a little bit more to be able to afford that properly. And then I got my first mentor. I'm trying to think who it was. I think my first real mentors that I paid were Cliff and Marta.
So Cliff and Marta Wild.
Yeah. So
we've actually both been mentored by.
Yeah. Mindset, gut professionals, everything. Amazing. Got a lot of time for them both. And that was £1,500 a month.
Which is a lot of money at the time.
Yeah. I used to have £50 left at the end of the month. Right. And I chose to do that before, when I was in my early 20s, I was still with my mum and dad. And I chose to spend all my money on that. I could have got a mortgage, a better house, but I just knew to catapult myself to where I need to be. I'm not in the fortunate circles I wasn't brought up around multi-millionaire people that could give me this wisdom and guidance to become that. So I soon realised I've got to pay my way into that. So someone can call it luck of what I've learned. Oh, James is just smart. No, I've made myself smart.
What did you learn in that initial stage? So obviously £1,500 a month is a lot of money.
Dealing with my own emotions and habits. My emotional intelligence was the first one. My first mentor properly that I paid to them guys was about his emotional being and coaching and how to be a good coach.
And so do you think as well, putting down so much money, having so much money riding on an outcome to change, to be better, do you think it makes you work harder at it?
100%.
As I do.
You respect it more.
I do.
When we used to charge, there was other reasons why we had to increase the price, but this being one of them, we used to charge £200 for a 6-week challenge.
This is at Transform Hub.
This is when we first started the Transform Hub. And over time, as it progressed, not only did you have to charge more because of advertising costs going up and things, but also the least someone paid, the more they complained and the more they expected because of less action from themselves. So what we found was by accident from increasing our prices because we had to, is that people were more bought in because it was painful and they go, shit, I've got to stick to this now.
I've paid for it. I've invested
so
in
they
myself.
saw it as more, they thought of it as more valuable. Mm-hmm. And then I started to see myself more valuable. My coaches did. And then that was a pivotal moment for the Transform Hub. We were doing really good anyway. And then this is what's taken us to the next level and has allowed us to more cash to reinvest into everything and make everything better.
But also people have got better results because they're more
Correct.
invested. They think, I've paid for this, I'm going to do it. Because
It's never price.
no,
But
it's
our
never
retention
price.
rates have doubled, and our results have doubled, probably more. Like I've not looked at the data on it for, especially on the results side of ages, but I know it's mega. Like a lot of sites, like we're losing less than 4 or 5% of our members every month, and we doubled our price. It's like $200 a month. And our churn rate was a lot higher when it was lower price because people didn't respect it and therefore they didn't get results. They didn't think the product was as good. But because they paid more and stuck to it, they thought the product was 10 times better.
And also we are always up-leveling that support and the mentoring, I suppose, going back to that point, to ensure that people get results. There's much more touch points, there's much more accountability to get people to get better results.
Exactly. So is it luck that person then went and lost a load of weight? No, they were disciplined, but they had something that made them stick to it. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's ethical and you stick to it. Use whatever pain, drive, trauma, whatever it is for you to change. Like just use whatever you've got to force that change. And if there's nothing wrong, if you need to put a lot of money down the table to change, that's fine.
So you've had a few different mentors.
Yeah.
In different areas of your life.
Mm-hmm.
What does it give you?
I'm buying people's lessons for the mistakes they've made.
Go on, explain that.
So there is absolutely no secret that I wouldn't be where I am without getting mentored.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so you got to see the value in what someone else has learned. There's nothing noble about, you just got to learn for yourself and you've got to spend 10. Why do I need to wait 10 years to learn something where I can learn it in 2 months from someone else, but just got to pay? That's the price you've got to pay. It's just an exchange in value. And that's all that's happening with the Transform Hub. As I've got my businesses and gyms better, and the model where it is now, where someone can make 100K net profit in their first year of operating.
Which is unheard of in this industry.
Yeah, what
very
franchise or what studio owner do you know doing that? And that's just through constant trial and error and me learning from a lot of mistakes to finally be able to sell that product to someone a lot more money than it used to be.
So
someone's paying for what I've learned.
And also they're paying to avoid your mistakes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I got fortunate that I was being mentored by the right people at the right time. Otherwise, the hub wouldn't be here. If I hadn't been mentored, the hub would genuinely not be here now.
So you talked about Cliff and Marta, which was more about the emotional side, nutrition, gut health, being a coach.
Yep.
Talk to us, I've actually, I've not really spoken to you about, you had a mentor who sadly passed away.
Sam Batyar, yep.
What did Sam teach you? Because I don't think we've ever had a conversation about what he brought to the table for you. I know you really valued him, and there's a picture of him in the office.
I'll go back a little bit. Yeah, I've got a big plaque of him like he's some god. Hopefully he's looking down now.
Oh, bless him.
So going back though, I met Justin, who is my ex-business partner, still one of my best friends. Don't get to see him as much because he's in Cyprus, but he was my mentor after them. And what's weird is when I went to see Cliff and Marta in Cyprus, he was just, if you know Justin, he just sits still like this. Nothing phases him. Doesn't get emotional and is the most logical thinker you could ever meet. So I come in, I'm in this massive house. By the way, on the way there, we were going over Turkey and the engine on the Jet 2 flight blew up. So yeah, boom! Like it was.
While you're on it.
Yeah. It was. It was 11 o'clock at night. Going over, I think we were flying over Izmir at the time. And it just went boom like that, and it didn't set on fire. But then all the lights were off on the plane, even the fire escape lights.
Ugh.
So my heart was literally coming out my chest. Like I was like, I'm gonna die. So anyway, I didn't die, obviously.
Because you're here.
Unless I've been reincarnated through manifestation. You manifested me back. You can't go yet.
No.
Take care of this man. So yeah, we landed on one engine, which was cured my fear of flying. I didn't have a fear of flying. It was just, I'm not a nervous flyer anymore. Because like, wait a minute, the engine can blow up. and we can land, like, what's there to be scared of, right? So
A lot.
So anyway, but the day after I was like, oh, fuck, I just want to stay in Turkey. I don't want to go on another flight. So it didn't quite go.
Hang on. So so you've landed in Turkey, you've not carried on.
Yeah, no, it didn't carry on.
Of course. So you've landed like in Izmir because that's the closest place you were.
Yes.
On one right.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway. So the next day we flew back out again. Then I landed in Cyprus. So anyway, so I went to see Cliff and Martin and Justin was there. So me and Justin got talking. He flew over and then he'd already opened 2 gyms, I think, before. So I was just opening the first gym at his time. So I met Justin. He'd got multiple members multiple studios. I think he had one in Romania. I can't remember what the other one was. But he got them to a certain amount of members. And then me and him become best friends. Then he become small shareholder in the business. And then that was it for like 3 years. So that was my next mentor. And the lessons from Justin, he's like, the biggest thing I've learned, it doesn't matter what you feel, what's the facts? Because he was naturally that person as well. Well, no matter how you feel, mate, like this is the reality of it.
Data, not emotions.
Yeah, and I think we are humans, so we're always going to some degree, even with data, use our emotions. But you just need to have a more methodical, he taught me to have a lot more methodical thought process. All the way through lockdown, he was like, meh. And I was going, fuck out the business, this. And he's just going, And I'm fucking on Zoom going, you don't fucking understand, mate. Like, and I'm just like, he's like, meh. Literally, like, meh. He's like, yeah, it's been hard. There's not been much to do. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm like furious. So that's what I learned from Justin. It's like, you need to be a lot more headstrong in business. So that was one I learned. And then I had Dan Bradbury next. I can't remember if that was after lockdown.
And who's Dan? Explain who Dan is.
Dan Bradbury was after lockdown. So I'll talk about it in a minute. So yeah, then it was Sam Batyar. So in the last 12 months of lockdown, Justin actually went, oh, my old mentor, who was Justin's old mentor, Sam Batyar, he owned a transformation studio chain in the US called The Camp, who have, I think they've got 150 sites now. And yeah, I didn't learn tons, but he inspired me to go and do better. And then it just made my brain switch. And this is in lockdown when I started to just, after a few months, I got myself back in shape because he was in routine, gym, ex-bodybuilder. Like I've got a bit of that background. And that's when I started to really learn that I've got to be so hungry for what I want. I have to fight for it. And he was, sure he's from Iran and a refugee years and years ago. Then the journey he went through to get to the US, which is where he ended up. It's like, I've not got any excuse. What I can achieve now, right? Mm-hmm. So he really just inspired me to change. And then I literally went, I aspired to be him. And then I just modeled. I watched a load of his videos, whether it was like this in real life or not, but I watched his videos, his routine, the cars he had. I just modeled myself off him for the next 12 months. And then that's when we launched the franchise.
So he was a big inspiration behind that because he came from having
and
so
then,
many sides.
At a similar time, Jed, who was like, who went for one of the biggest transformations, my friend, he come to me and went, I want a hub. And then it all kind of just aligned. I went, oh shit, right, yeah. And then that happened and I was like, right, we really need to franchise this now. And then that's when we did the first ops manual on Google Docs, which was low shit. But it worked.
But it's
he opened with 70 clients.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's another lesson of 2025 is you can have the best system in the world, but if you don't project the system correctly, you're still never going to win. Like we had people launch with 70, 80 clients back when it was just about the belief and a few processes in place. So you can overthink entirely all the processes you want in the world, but without action and the want to achieve it, it's still no good. Mm-hmm. Right? So, that was my Sam Batyar journey. Then Dan Bradbury, that was more like, he really taught me about numbers.
So I know his name for people listening, like what does he specialise in?
He's a business coach. So he had his own businesses. I think he's sold a couple for a couple of million quid each. And then he had just like business lessons, VAT bills and all this stuff he's made mistakes on, and then getting really dialed into numbers. I didn't think the numbers were as important as they were. But also what I learned from that is you can't be over focused on numbers without action either. So you've got to know your numbers and action. Like, it's no good knowing your numbers, but it's like what to do when you do know the numbers, what action do you need to take? So that was I think my biggest breakthrough was actually going, I need to stop being a big head here and go, yeah, I can't sell my way out of every problem. Usually gets out of most problems, but not every problem. So that was my big one with Dan. And he's got a really good book called Turnover is Vanity and Profit is Sanity. And then once, I'm going to have to ask him about this actually. And I showed my dad, you know what my dad's like, quite blunt. He went, yeah, and cash is reality. and I think Dan's actually changed the name of that because I had a laugh telling him. I'm hopeful I've got the WhatsApp history. I'm going to send that to him later. And I think he's actually changed it to cash is reality now. I don't know if that's because of me. So that was mentor then. And then, then it was, and I've just done the Hormozi stuff recently.
So Alex Hormozi. How would you describe Alex Hormozi for people who aren't aware of him?
He makes things that sound really complicated really simple.
Yeah, he's a very good teacher.
Yeah, he can just make you, and he just makes you see clearly. And it just makes things more simple. You can make things a lot more simple than you think.
And he was someone who intended to go into finance, decided he wanted to go into fitness, became a PT, built up a load of gyms, and then he started to teach specifically fitness professionals how to be better gym owners, more profitable, help people more, reduce churn. He created some amazing books, and then him and his wife have gone on to help loads more businesses. And that's kind of what they focus on now. And
yeah, it's acquisition.com. I think they turn over $500 million last year.
Wow. What is the difference then? So we've gone through this journey. So you've gone from working with the first mentors that centered around your emotional and your physical health. Then Justin is about data, not emotions, and being logical and a bit calmer. Then you've gone someone who's really inspirational and teaches you about routine, discipline, and belief as well. I think seeing that somebody else had achieved it. Then you've got Dan, who's taught you about the numbers, which is, of course, what you need to grow a business. You know, you can't...
All those things, the foundations in place you need. Because this is like when I launched the first few hubs, when you've not fixed your core problems, and it's the same with anything in life, if your base isn't stable, you'll just scale a problem. So if you're really good at selling, but your infrastructure's shit and you're always stressed because you're not retaining staff, you're losing members are unhappy, whatever it is. If your infrastructure's not right, you just scale a big stress. Whereas what I found is once you get the basics, like you're never going to get to make all the decisions really well straight away. I'm still glad I went through all that process, but once the foundations are in place, it's so easy to scale. Boom, like that. So it's literally just a mindset shift. Once you've got everything in place and you know how to lead a team and you've got all the basic skills, this is why you can't always rush your journey too much. But for some reason, it happened and I had to learn those mistakes quick to get the hub to where it is now.
What are you getting then out of this latest mentorship with Alex Hormozi and acquisition.com?
Not getting over-focused on too many things, stick to the main things and do that really well. So
now it's at a point where it's laser focus.
Yeah, just stick to the winning formula you've got, stick to it and just keep repeating it. It's taught me a lot of things. I think that's the main thing. It's ready to scale. Nail it and scale it, he says.
Nail it and scale it.
Yep. So, yeah, it's just like not getting... I think a lot of business owners, like especially new, because I was this person, you get all these ideas and you never master anything. You know, because I think people have this like conception that they look at like... They'll see a quote from Warren Buffett, like, you got to have multiple streams of income and all this. Yeah, but if you've got £3 in your bank account at the end of the month, you've not got options to invest.
And also, I like the phrase, he who chases two rabbits catches none, because if you put in many eggs in many baskets, you're not focusing on one thing.
Yeah, decide what is it you actually want. It's like conflicting things. It's like, well, people go, yeah, I want to be rich, I want to be successful, but I also want to work 4 hours a day. Which one is it? It's one or the other. Like you ain't going to get rich and successful by working a couple hours a day. So that'll come later on down the line. But I can guarantee once I started to free my time up, I missed it. I want to do more. So if it's in you as an entrepreneur, you want to work hard naturally. If you're naturally a more relaxed, lazy person, and that's just you at heart and you're being honest with yourself, nothing wrong with it either, but don't get pissed off when you don't get the results you want for the work you didn't do.
Or you could focus on nailing it and scaling the right people, the right teams, the right processes, the right mindset, the right values. So you are able to step out and have
but that take 5 years of 12-hour days to do that though.
Really? Are you not going to get to a point though where you think you might take a step back?
Yeah, for a weekend.
and then you'll come up with a new idea because you've had a weekend where you're not thinking about work.
Who knows? Because I always think this. Someone's going, oh, would you ever sell the hub? And I go, oh, what would I do? I just find something else to hyper focus on.
That's quite funny. Oh, I don't know. What would I do? I swear to God, you could come up with something else in 5 minutes because that's you and your brain. That's what you do.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to do, like sort of things like that. I don't either. So I don't know. We'll see.
But you genuinely get up with a lot of enthusiasm every morning.
I love my life. I love it.
That makes me feel quite emotional.
Didn't used to.
Not a lot of people would say that. Why? Why do you love your life now, but you didn't?
I just got lucky.
No.
Because I put all my tables on a problem. I put ADHD. I brought all my problems to the table and dealt with the shit that I needed to get so I could allow myself that. Ex-investors that I didn't align with wasn't that we didn't get along, but it was holding me back from the company back. Ex-relationships, ex-friendships, people all around me, all these hard decisions that people don't want to deal with in life because they're scared. You're just boxing yourself in, you can never move forward. So I've earned my way to that feeling like that because I've dealt with my problems. And now I don't have problems, I just have things to solve, which I love. It's a different flow you're in, totally. Trying to make cash ends meet every month is a big problem. Having business partners that see things differently to you, that you know could potentially destroy the business, is a problem. Especially when they've got a fucking load more money than you as well. It's not an easy thing. Makes you technically powerless to a degree. But it's how you go about these things and deal with them and overcome them is what's made you going to come out on top. And the reason the hub has scaled so much in the past 12 months especially is because I've done that journey. It's all I've been doing. I scaled a problem at the start and I've spent 12 months of my life fixing it with every ounce of energy I'd left. And that's why I'm where I am.
Didn't you write a list of hard decisions down that you had to do and you just kept crossing them off as you did them?
I woke up one morning, did some meditation and went, I'm fucking sick of this. And just made a massive list. I went, this is what I'm going to deal with. And just went one by one, boom, 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 boom.
What's that Monopoly quote you have in a frame?
Risk, not regret.
Because it feels sometimes...
It's not even Monopoly. Someone's ripped that off somewhere. I just saw it online. It was like, I don't ever remember the Monopoly man saying that, do you?
I just remember...
It's like this green picture and you got the Monopoly man rolling dice. It's like the quote of what someone never said. Risk and not regret.
I think it's a perfect quote for you. I remember when I first saw that and I thought, wow, that is very James. Because some of these decisions that you've had to make do feel very risky, but they've paid off. That because
do you remember you were on the plane on the way back from the States? Yeah. And I just went, this is not going to work in my life, this business, if I don't get my ex-business partners out, which I still have a lot of respect for. It's not a negative thing. We were aligned different and things changed. And I had to find, the whole investment was £1 million. And I had to find a lot of money quick. And I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I made it happen.
And you took my journal.
And I was shitting it.
And you wrote out your plan in my journal on the plane on the way home.
Yeah.
I sometimes flick back to that page in my journal.
I got off that plane and I went straight to the house and dealt with it. Mm-hmm. And that was a pivotal moment. I like the rest of last year, like I just felt so free because I was doing what my soul knew was right. And look where we are.
Did it feel like a big energy shift? We talk about energy a lot, don't
I felt
we?
like I got my power back. Since I signed that day, I lost my power over my life because I knew deep down it wasn't the right thing to do at the time. But when someone's offering you all this cash to grow, and what happened in the end, I didn't even need the money to grow. It was just time. Like you can't, like I could be where I am now without taking that cash on, but it made me level up. And again, so many lessons learned from that scenario, story that happened not too long ago, which would also mean I probably wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have the wisdom. I can mentor my franchises better when it comes to business partnerships, how to deal with numbers, and it made me know my numbers even more. That's what it really taught me. So I'm so glad it happened, and it's not a negative thing, but I created that and I had to solve it. I could have gone, oh man, it's because of this, because of that. No, I just decided that that's what I'm going to do to change.
Do you think being mentored has allowed you to be clearer in your decision making?
Yes, because you learn from other people.
You've heard their stories, you've been inspired by them and the hard decisions that they've had to make.
Just think about it like this, right? Not leadership, which is what I see a mentor as, it's just a never-ending funnel. I think they're at the top, but they had someone above them. And it's just the spiral of people down, and that's where knowledge creates. Everyone thinks, oh, it was his idea, and they've learned from someone else, put their own wording on it, and that person's learned from that one, and it's all just everyone's ideas stems from other people's ideas and thought, beliefs, and patterns and leadership. So it's just a big funnel down from the top, and that's why you've got to be a leader of your own life. And the people that I respect the most are the ones that don't. You can have a little whinge and a kick and a scream in the moment, but don't be a victim. Tomorrow's a new day. Get up and go again. And that's the people I think you should be looking to life, not just for business, but anything. You need to find someone that you aspire to be like and mimic them. That's what you're paying for. Or you might be lucky enough to have someone in your life that's your dad or your mum or your grandparents, your uncle, your auntie, whoever it might be, and you've just been fortunate to have that. However you do it, just find someone that inspires you. Because once you've changed your life, other people are inspired by you to change their life as well.
So if you're listening to this and you're a fitness professional and you want to change your life and you fancy becoming a franchisee of the Transform Hub, you will get mentored by James Calderbank and the team as part of it. And go to transformhubfranchise.co.uk to find out more. Yep.
There'll be a lovely lady called Sam who will hound you to death.
But that's why we
never ended. Exactly. That's why I hired her. Guys, luck is waiting things to happen. It's never going to happen. If you want to be lucky, take more action. So if you do want to get a franchise, potentially earn 100K in your first year, speak to me. You know where I am.